Hello everyone, what's happening? This is Forgo, and today we're going to talk about Alice here. Freaking sweet, lovely Alice. So let's take a look at her kit. So Alice is a cost 55 character. She has a red attack type fighter, and she gives an increased red element fighter attack by 65%. This is the best leadership for red fighters, and this is amazing because it's for all red fighters, whether they're attack, defensive, attack. This is sweet. Now you can see my Infinity is only at level 8. I need to actually work on that a little bit. But as far as her core effects, she gets strike skill damage increase, which is great because all of her skills are strike skills. She has an 8% damage decrease from defensive types. The crit rate increase, which is actually important for her. She gets increased damage by 24% on a critical hit. So I've said this before, but she really should have a Mad Tea Party set or the Tekken set on this girl. And then you get an increased critical rate by 7% for 4 seconds for each attack, which is wonderful. That's really going to help synergize with this passive right here. Gain super armor for 3 seconds upon landing a critical hit on a 15-second cooldown. So she has super armor in one of her skills, but you could do her other skills that don't have super armor, and you have a chance of triggering super armor for 3 seconds upon landing a critical hit, which is freaking fantastic. And if you look at her skill, she gets an attack buff for 7 seconds on her first skill. She gets just some text here, but she does have a PvP exclusive where she disables target strike skill active skills for 3 seconds when successful skill or guard included in. So when you're facing characters that have strike skills, just like her, these are strike skills right here, these closed fist. If characters have those, you can disable those things for 3 seconds, which means they're not going to be doing any damage to you, which is wonderful. And then she gains super armor for 3 seconds when using the skill, which is awesome. Her cores are completely unlocked. And we're going to be running with the Mad Tea Party set. I could run with the Tekken set, but I decided to go with the Mad Tea Party set because this is, most players are going to have this, or a lot of players don't have the Tekken set, so I decided to run with this. And this is a great set because you're going to get some extra critical damage. You're going to get the increased critical rate by 8%. And there's another card that gives an extra crit rate by 2%. So she gets a total of 10% extra critical rate. This is going to help trigger that super armor whenever it's off that 15-second cooldown. And it's also just going to increase her damage tremendously. She also gets that extra damage from doing critical hits in her core effect. So this is a wonderful set for her, plus it deals additional damage equal to 220% of attack upon landing a critical hit. So it's all about the crit hits with Alice. Our card is a 5 PG card. I do have a level 30, skill level 5. So let's jump out of here and let's talk about her rotation a little bit. Now when it comes to rotations in a fighting game, it really just depends on what you're doing and what game modes you're playing in as to what rotation you want to go with. You know, usually I would come in here in Championship if it's available, if you can, and kind of tinker around with the rotations. Now, her third skill has the lowest cooldown of all, but her first skill has the attack buff. The second skill is the PvP exclusive. So, whenever you're playing, it might actually be best just to start with her third skill first. Throw in a couple combos. Maybe something like that. But you could also do something, we'll just wait for the cooldowns to get off on the second and first skill. You want to try to get in a couple hits in between each skill. So you could do the third skill. Something like that, and you see the cooldown was almost off of that. If I would have got in a couple hits after that first skill, maybe that would have been a little bit better, so we'll try it again. And you can see the cooldown was pretty much about up. I kind of messed that up a little bit. It takes a little practice and a little timing. I haven't played with Alice that much, but you can definitely see there's potential. She's definitely not going to have no infinite combo, but I mean, if you put 95 King in the leadership, she's going to pretty much have an infinite combo for the most part, I would think. That's the kind of the rotation we'll go with. Now, you could start with the first skill to get your attack buff. And then maybe go into the second skill. You see the third skill actually missed there. So you could hit the first skill first. Do a couple combos. And you can see that's why it's really better to start with that third skill first. It's just easier to combo your skills together. And we'll just look at the ultimate just because it's a cool looking ultimate skill. Yeah, nice shot right there. Nice shot. And whenever we get low cost week, I'll try her out in PvP and championship. But right now, it's cancer. You don't want to bring her in there. She'll probably get destroyed. Now we're going to go into Infinite Battle here. And we're doing Infinite Battle instead of League Match because League Match doesn't really showcase the character. You know, those characters are tagging in and out all the time. And plus, those characters are freaking strong as hell. They are awakened characters. You know, Alice doesn't even have an awakened skill. She doesn't have her capsules. It just isn't fair at all to bring her in there to try to go against these characters. So I think Infinite Battle is just a better showing for her because then we don't have to switch our characters over and over and over. We can just use her, which is what we want. And it's just so awesome that she has that amazing leadership.
4, 3, 2, 1.
We do have an awakened Kyo there.
Round 1.
Come on, here we go.
Ready, go.
Nice. And it's really sweet that her first skill does that punch down, and the second skill can actually take the character from the ground as well. That's really sweet. Come on, get some. And that is one bad thing about her. That special can miss pretty easy. That kind of sucks, man. She does that dash forward, and they can easily dodge that thing. Get him, girl, get him. And it's pretty easy, you know, an Infinite Battle. In League, she can put in work. But again, you know, we'd be tagging in our characters, tagging them in and out. It just wouldn't be a very good showcase of her because in League, you're almost guaranteed, even with strong characters, you're going to have to tag in other characters. Because if your opponent's tagging characters and you don't tag in characters, you're going to get thrown up in the air and you're going to get freaking killed. Okay, so this might be a little bit better. Oh, we can't use her again. Bummer. Oh, that sucks. Oh, never mind. Okay. Let's do a little PvE action with her. See, we'll go in the event quest. And we don't want to take on Athena. We got the type disadvantage against her. Let's see. Let's take this girl on. Yeah, give us whoever. We don't really care. Oh, that's cool. We got Omeri. That's nice. And yeah, we'll be fine. We're not going to have an advantage or a disadvantage against the purple because we're a red, so that'll be alright. Let's jump in here. Against Athena, having the disadvantage is not good at all, man. You take a hell of a lot more damage, and you deal a lot less damage against her with a red element. Come on.
Ready, go.
Let's go. Oh, good some. Easy peasy. Use our ultimate here. Oh yeah. I love her ultimate skill. Okay, let's get out of there. Okay. And we're gonna swing over here. Yeah, she pretty much murders this. This is easy for her. No problem. No problem. Let's take her another place where she's pretty suited. Yeah, give me them souls. Give me them souls. Hell yeah. Back up a little bit. And let's go into the epic quest. Going to False Orochi here. And we'll go against Yashiro. And chapter 3 and chapter 4 here are really nice for red element fighters because they increase damage by 10 when enemy attacked by red element fighters. Enemies reflect damage received from yellow element fighters by 30%. So if you bring in a yellow element fighter, you're going to get destroyed. And they still reflect damage by 10% against purple, blue, and green. So you always want to use red element fighters in chapter 3. And as you can see, in chapter 4 as well. So we'll just go against chapter 3 here. Let's see what happens. Alice is a pretty cool character. Really, I just wish that her special skill wouldn't miss as much as it does. That is something that's bad about her.
Ready, go!
Come on. And really in PvE, you could just start with that first skill or second skill. If you want to start with the first skill to get your attack buffs. But because the cooldowns are so much lower on the third skill, it just seems like you can chain your skills a lot better together starting off with that third one. Come on. Get some. She's melting the hell out of this. No problem. Now I do have some good attack buffs for sure. Here we go. Oh, get some. Woo. Woo. There, I hit my skill a little early. Come on, Kazumi. Here we go. Hopefully we don't miss. And we didn't miss. Hell yeah. One, two, three. Alice is a pretty cool character. I really like the little pose she does there. That's really nice. Really loving Alice. I think she's pretty cool. Feels like a good, complete character. But like all fighters, she does have her downsides. The fact that her special skill can miss pretty easy. That's something that does suck about her. But I think in low-cost PvP, she's going to do pretty good. And for PvE, she's an excellent character. She's got the super armor. She's got the extra damage from her core effects, from doing critical hits. And plus, she has the best leadership in the game for red element fighters. So you could even use this girl for Hell's Dungeon as a leadership for your red team, which would be pretty fantastic. So let me know how you're all feeling about Alice, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.